As your county executive, I will create within our housing department a home retention unit, and that unit will ensure that not only new homeowners but existing homeowners understand what the state and federal laws are with respect to them keeping their homes. But the key, ladies and gentlemen, to stave off of foreclosures is the creation of jobs. We have undergone over the last 2.5 years or so a tough economy. With the downturn in an economy that we've never seen before in our lifetime. So the key is to create jobs, and that goes back pretty much to what I talked about earlier about my economic plan and my jobs plan, where we can start that immediately within the first 100 days of my administration, where we help businesses provide jobs for our citizens. And when we help businesses provide jobs for our citizens, with the extension, as was mentioned earlier, on the foreclosure process, we will help people save their jobs. There are pro bono attorneys that we're going to bring on staff to help guide our homeowners and prospective homeowners with respect to the property standards. It's about making sure that Prince George's County, and as we make sure that as we move forward, that we, in sustaining our community, that we are our community is reflective of a beautiful community, and that the banks are held accountable for those properties that stay vacant, and that they must upkeep them. And it's vital for us to create partnerships with our federal, state, and nonprofits to help us through this problem. But thank you.
This is one of the hardest problems I've had to deal with, because as chairman of the Commission for Veterans, I actually was faced with this. I got a call around 9 o'clock at night from an individual that had been married for 36 years. And she called and said, "Mr. Turner, I need your help, because the van is sitting outside the front door getting ready to evict me and my husband and my single daughter, who had 3 children. What do you do when you have nothing you can say to an individual like that and you see them losing their house?" So this is a real problem. It's so real that when I was in the unemployment agency talking to the individuals there, I had 3 separate young ladies that walked up to me and said, "Mr. Turner, we're living out the back of our trunk because we have no facility in Prince George's County that will house us if we have 3 children. What am I to do with my 3rd child?" Well, our administration, that's one of the first priorities that we're going to look at, is providing facility for those individuals that get in that particular situation of homelessness. We're also going to look at our nonprofits to work that issue, but we're going to make it a county government priority to look at making sure that we have a facility for them. We're also going to focus on financing, and that financing has got to occur from our local and regional banks that have a vested interest in Prince George's County, and not necessarily those national banks that we have. We also need to look at federal and state legislation that needs to be enacted to help our people here in Prince George's County. But one of the main things that we have here in Prince George's County that we have not utilized is the fact that we have 1,242 vacant units sitting in a Summerfield project, which is on Morgan Boulevard, that less than 4% of it is occupied, which means close to 1,200 units could be utilized for our homeless individuals in Prince George's County, whether they're veterans or just regular citizens that need a home. I've started that process to look into that. And it's something that we're putting pressure on both state and federal government to help out in. Thank you.
To my panelists, if you will allow me, I want to do a little shift because we did start a little later than we wanted to. I want to shift how we're asking, and what we'll do is that for each question, and especially because we also want to get the questions from the community, that we want just the first 2 who raise their hand, I'll let you go at it, and then we'll move on that. Is that all right? So I need y'all to, if you got buzzers, if we had buzzers, we had a bigger budget, we'd have buzzers. But we do want to be sensitive to people's time, because people have to get home, people have to go to work tomorrow, have to take care of their children, so we do want to be able to move forward, but also get to some of the questions. Now, I heard a few of you talk about jobs creation, and we want to hear you talk a little bit about your plan to facilitate jobs creation in the county, but I want to hear about it not just in kind of a nebulous fashion, but I also want to hear you deal with the challenge that we are facing right now, not just of our young high school dropouts, but we have a lot of young people who are graduating graduating high school who are sitting at home and have no jobs and are not college ready, are not job ready, or are not even able to receive jobs. And so we want to hear you talk a little bit about how you address. I saw those two hands at the end, so there we go. Okay, somebody help. You're going to help me with the hands, but those are the two I saw here. Sheriff Jackson and Mr. Henry Turner.
All right, thank you. I think the key to that is to ensure that our young people are ready for the job market when they leave school. And that goes back to businesses in Prince George's County, partnering with our school system, creating internships, creating programs such as the program I went through at Crossan High School. And I was over there the other day, not starting it in the 11th grade as they're doing now, but starting it in the 9th grade so that our young people get engaged with the business community. The trades have been wanting to come back into the schools since 1998. I know. I tried to help them get into schools. And as county executive, I'll be able to get them there, adding it to the electives, not changing the basic curriculum for the school system. Not going to get into that battle with the superintendent. There's no need to. You add trades to our electives, and you get the businesses involved in our schools to teach the technical components of what it is to run a business. And our young people will be then ready for the job market. When they walk out of school, whether they want to go to college, they'll be prepared, because just as you do with the arts, when a young person is engaged in something that is relative and relevant to them, they will excel academically, and they will excel in every facet of their life. Our plan, which is on my site, it's a comprehensive education plan, shows how bringing career exposure programs back to our school system as electives for our young people to give them exposure to what they need to be a vibrant part of this community. Thank you.
This issue starts at a very young age. If you look at our reading and math test scores for our children, we're 4 to 5 years below where they're supposed to be. We have to address that issue in education first before we can address any issue about career opportunity. Once we address that issue, we need to look at modeling what we're doing after the National High Tech High program that's nationally known. It's a program that focuses on career readiness skills, not just on education, but making sure at the end of 12 years in school, that individual has the opportunity and has the career skills to be able to get a job. In addition to that, our administration has created a project or a program that we want to institute when we get in office, and it's called Adopt a School. Right now, we've got an Adopt a Highway program in which you can roll around Prince George's County and you can see the names of businesses on highways. Is that truly the priority of where Prince Georgians place their emphasis on highways versus the education of our children? Adopt a School, provide internships not only during the year, but provide working internships during the summer for our youth, very much like what Marion Barry did. Give our children the opportunity to be exposed to both finance, business opportunities, and you'll see that they'll do much better in life if they're exposed early on. The other thing besides that is you'll see that it's a win-win situation for the community, because the parents of those families that have their children in those schools that are getting those internships will put their money in those banks, will be invested in those particular businesses. So this is a win-win, but we need to get our communities involved, and that means our small businesses who are taking the dollars out of our community to put it back into our community. Thank you.
Okay, now I had a couple